Hey y'all, good morning. We are out here on a nice warm North Carolina spring still technically day. But it's gonna be hot today. It's gonna get up into the 90s today. I'm here with my trusty videographer. She's ready to hop on as soon as I need my hands. And we are going to talk tomatoes today. So we're going to kind of talk about tomato care and what I do for them and how I've supported them and all kinds of stuff, okay? All right, handing my camera over and we're going to get started. Okay, come on over. So, first thing is we are going to do some pruning today. So I got my pruning shears here. All right, let's keep walking through.
Ooh! These look like official strawberries.
Girl, bye.
They do.
They do actually, not the little tiny ones. I think they grow better in a
Pot.
kind of, yeah, hanging down like that. All right, so I first wanted to show y'all that my tomato plants and actually all my plants in the garden, every 2 weeks I go through and I put this fish fertilizer on it, this Alaska brand fish fertilizer. There's other ones like Neptune brand or something that I've heard people say is good too, but it's just seems to help things kind of perk up and grow nice and strong. So I do that. I also use every couple months, I use this Garden Tone organic fertilizer here, and this one is slow release, so it has like I use a flower pot, don't judge me. I use a flower pot to scoop it up, and then I just put it around the base of the plants or next to the plants, and I kind of rake it in a little bit gently to the soil, and then I water it. So those are kind of the two fertilizers I use for my tomatoes and really for like every plant that I have in the garden. Okay? All right. So now I got my shears, and now I'm going to keep on going to the tomatoes.
Hey, Nyla, put my stick down. Nyla.
Did you check on your flower garden yet?
No.
You should go check on it, baby. Go look at it if you're going to be surprised. All right, so here we have my tomatoes. We're going to start down at the bottom. First, I know that this one is empty because if you look at previous videos, the leaves have been all turning yellow and everything on the whole plant, and I didn't know if it was like signs of blight or anything, and it looked like it kind of was. And once you start getting blight on a plant, like there's nothing you can do about it, but what you want to do is just stop it from spreading to other plants. So I just pulled that plant out because I didn't want to take any chances. Okay, now you'll notice here, let's look at this plant, that if you look towards the bottom, right, there's lots of stuff cut off. And that's because what you don't want happening is you don't want the lower leaves touching the ground. If the any lower leaves touch the ground, there's more chance of fungus and bacteria and stuff that is on the ground and living on the surface of the soil. Whoa Nelly, there's more chance of it hopping onto the plant and infecting the plant. Okay, so the first thing I do is I go through and I just look at the lower leaves. Like this one, this plant seems to be pretty good, but if I come over here to this plant, then you see how this is kind of yellowish here, and it has this leaves here that's hanging down and yellowish. This one just broke right off, but this one here I'm gonna cut off. I also look at the rest of the plant though and say like how much leaf growth is on the rest of the plant too. All right, so let me go through and just try to do that really quick. If there's any other lower growth that looks kind of yellow and I can afford to cut it off, then I'm going to do that.
Your tomatoes are growing really big. Cut off these leaves that are kind of yellowing and gross and were touching the ground. They have some brown spots on them. Do you have some exciting stuff to show us in your garden? Okay, good. Wait until I'm done with the video and then we're going to come over to you, okay? Alright. So, the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is suckers.
What?
So
The song?
no, not the song, not the people, the part of the tomato plant. So on tomato plants, here, look at me for a second. There are two types of tomato plants, right? Determinate and indeterminate. Determinate tomato plants have a certain size to them. That's the size they're going to grow to. That's it. Okay? Indeterminate tomato plants is if they have the nutrients and the space, they're going to keep growing forever. That's where you get like 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet tall tomato plants from. Those are indeterminate. Indeterminate tomato plants also grow like every direction, right? And they grow every direction by developing suckers off of like the main stem of the plant. They grow suckers, and the suckers grow out all the different directions.
Are they actually called suckers?
They are actually called suckers. I did not make that up. So what you do if you're growing in a little bit smaller space is that the flowers of the tomato plant and the fruit grow off of the main stem kind of thing, and the suckers can sometimes take away from the energy being put into growing and developing those flowers and the fruit on the main stem of the plant. So you can cut the suckers off. So we're going to go through and do that right now. So let's see what a sucker looks like. Okay, so this right here, right, is the main branch.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has these branches coming off the side. So this is kind of like the trunk of the tomato plant, and then it has these coming off the side. Sometimes between a branch and the trunk, or the stem, I guess we'll call it a branch and a stem, little other branches will start coming off. These little branches are called suckers, and they can be taken off. Okay, let me show you another one up here. So I'm looking at this plant here. Okay, can you see? Do I need to move my hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at this branch here. This is my main branch, or my main stem, right? This is a branch coming off at the side, and it's usually, branches usually come off at like 90-degree angles like this. Okay, this right here coming up is a sucker that comes in a kind of 45-degree angle in between. So I can come in here and just gently snip that off. Okay.
So why don't you want suckers?
Suckers take up energy from the rest of the plant, so it takes up energy from helping develop the flowers and the fruit on the plant. It also makes them spread out like crazy. Okay. All right, now let me show you a situation where I would not cut off a sucker. Here we go here. Okay, so here's stem, main stem, branch at a 90-degree angle to the stem,
And then the
suckers
suckers
right
right
here. But this one I'm noticing is developing flowers here, but also this plant doesn't have as much leaf growth as, let's say, this one does. Right? So I'm gonna say this one needs some more leaves, so I'm okay if it develops a sucker. But this is going to end up being a crazy plant because these two are going to keep growing up forever and ever and be crazy. The other thing that's kind of bad about that is I only have the single support on that one. I have to switch that out somehow. All right, so let me go through. Oh, come here, let me show you the danger of sucker snipping. So this plant right here, I thought I had the main branch and the sucker figured out, but I don't think that I did, because now I don't really have a main branch anymore. You might want to come over to this side and see. It's easier to see on this side. So this plant here, this was the main branch, and I have a feeling that this might be where the main branch keeps going, but I cut off a sucker there that what I thought was a sucker but was actually the main branch, and now it's kind of
Not doing
just
so
sitting
well.
there. Yeah, it's not getting any taller. But this right here, I got a good sucker example here. Main stem, 90-degree angle branch, sucker. Okay, and that's a, where do you,
Oh no, the dill!
oh no, it's a big deal.
It's not.
Um,
Okay, yeah.
So this plant here has a lot of other growth to it, so I can go through and cut off the suckers because it has a lot of other branches growing and all that kind of stuff.
Tall guy.
And I just go through every once in a while and check them out. And then I don't know if you've noticed throughout the video, but I do have tomatoes forming here, down here on this little guy.
Yeah, we saw those ones.
Yep, so those are coming up. So there's a lot of tomatoes forming, so that's awesome. Can you do just a quick view of the squash plants? I tied up the squash plants. They're looking a little sad because I have to go through and water them. I haven't watered the garden yet. So that's doing that. Just do an overview of the peppers really quick. So there's peppers coming along there. Overview of the lettuce.
Lettuce,
Back there.
pepper.
So that's lettuce. I think the radishes and carrots over here. They'll get pulled up soon.
I mean, maybe not the radishes. They ain't doing nothing.
Here, can you show how tall these vines are getting? I've been kind of helping them along.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, this
ones.
guy's like, no, not me. Leave me alone.
What Mom's dream is that the plants are gonna like grow all up here, and then he's gonna have this like beautiful trellis.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pollinate this plant right here, right now. Here's my acorn squash.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
Isn't that cool?
Oh yeah, I saw a little that thing right there.
A zucchini?
Yeah.
Show everybody.
That's the zucchini.
All right, and now we're gonna walk past the corn on our way to Nyla's garden. Nyla's got some stuff to show. All right, come on. All right, let's show the tassel growth on the corn. There we have the corn with the tassels growing. So exciting! All right, come on. Looks like it's time to harvest some beans again. Here we go to Nyla's garden. Oh, see, she lost the shoe.
Oh!
Well, this is my garden, and I learned only one thing. I actually learned some things good. Okay, if you only have like flowers or vegetables in your garden, you should watch out for weeds because that's a good part. If you have any spider webs connected to like leaves on your flowers or your vegetables, well, the spider, and if you have like a lot of wet bugs, the wet bugs might crawl into the spider web, and then the spider might eat it. So,
Look
So
at
that's
the
good, right?
yeah. And
All right,
then,
what kind of flowers do you have in your garden?
morning glories, and both of them are purple and blue, and
Zinnias.
zinnias.
And what are these?
I think celosia.
Celosia.
All right, thank you, Nyla. All right, let's go on out here real quick.
Can I wear my bag?
And after the video, baby, you can get it ready. Where is it? Okay, and then out here is my crazy garden. So I have my borage starting to bloom, which I was super excited. Look how pretty those flowers are.
Whoa. These are small.
They're actually, I believe, edible, and the pollinators love them too. And then if you look down here, it's my watermelon. It's actually starting to grow all over the place. Like this is one plant and it's all the way down there already. And this is starting to grow all over the place.
What's that?
This here?
Yeah.
This is borage too.
Oh.
So there's a lot of borage in here. And then there's some cosmos growing here.
Whoa.
Those over, the tall ones are sunflowers.
So these are sunflowers. Oh, and then you have your blooming sunflowers over there.
And those are, I think, black-eyed Susans over there that are blooming. Okay. But that is, I think, it for my video for today. That was kind of all my tomato talk. So if you have any questions about that, or you're wondering, or you have any advice, please let me know advice because I don't know what I'm doing. Then come on through and type it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, go ahead and do that. I have to say this because my videographer's doing it and she's always like and subscribe and hit the notifications button. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
She's also like my my social media agent or whatever.
Yeah, I've watched enough YouTube to know this.
Yeah. So go ahead and like and subscribe if you like what you see. Super excited to be up to I think 42
subscribers right now, so more subscribers than my age. So whoop whoop.
Mommy!
So anyway, that's it for our video for today. Hope you like it. Happy gardening, y'all.